H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland, Moorish, Release fall, Shalon Davis, salute, hot house. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound the grace. Any nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a boom that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major for birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilius. That is my land, never faking. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. Few please more. Following the apostles, we should read more. I see the unseen more. We more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
Say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling harder when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving.
Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland, Moorish, Release fall, Shalon Davis, salute, hot house. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound the grace. Any nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a boom that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major for birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilius. That is my land, never faking. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. Few please more. Following the apostles, we should read more. I see the unseen more. We more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
Say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling harder when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting, and told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming, 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we're live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrated. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
More and more I am being guided to study more. Muslim. You a Muslim, Khalid? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor.
Pussy is the wave, yeah?
Nah, I'm a bull.
At last, we do the dash. I'm marathon in my time. Stay on the line. I'm never stalling like Malcolm. I spill the facts. You still applaud and they hate, assassinate, and y'all award them. By the mass, I choose sets. Word to Boston. In the lab with crew necks, herbs and tonics. In the class with scientists doing the math, writing hieroglyphs. I'm the man with the iron fist. Got a past full of darkness. Catching that ghost like a house when it's haunted. Doing the most with the status of a lease home. I spend my whole life running for police cars. I spend my lifetime running for my evils. Ain't know myself, thought I was a different people. My people say they couldn't find the answers. Never heard of Moors, but know all about the Panthers. We catching cancers. Last dragon, knew I was a master. Started from a servant. Chapter 28.
All we got.
We all we got. We all we got. Oh, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Sue upon the law, put my fears in the
We all
dungeon.
we got.
We all we got.
We all we got.
Love for my mothers, brothers, enemies and others. Love for those with no shelter eaten from the gutters. Truth of vibration so strong it heals. Truth is the second principle of our divine creed. Truth is art, for it many died and some fought. Truth doesn't apologize and need a mascot. Truth must be known and not just only love genius. Truth is not for all men, only those who seek it. Peace be still, be integrity, behold upright. Peace is a mind state, no need to be uptight. Peace in the greeting or passage when I leave. Peace will not rest but rise when you grieve. Freedom of speech taken away like sheep led to slaughter. Freedom for souls trapped, out of control kidnapped daughters. Justice or death, after that what's left? Justice for the husk, become one with the holy breath.
I was the last dragon, knew I was a master. Started from a servant. Chapter 28.
All we got.
We all we got. We all we got. Oh, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Sue upon the law, put my fears in the
We all
dungeon.
we got.
We all we got. Staying on guard. The 5-pointed star renegade with the J scimitar. It got the thinnest blade. We blaze in the halls until the feeling fades. The game's in my heart, ain't nothing minute made. Reversing this mystery, y'all. Cursing this history, nigga. That turns burned in my mind and crime hinders me. Say hi, Timothy. This is divine ministry. Focused upon getting the mind about a misery.
Justice denied, ignorance prevails. Justice the balance, but I see just us in the jails. Justice can only reign with a free national name. Justice gives no pleasure or has no shame. So love speak truth, so peace can exist. For freedom to democracies not to exist. Fill out the census wrong, end up on the stock list. Tight with the fam like locks twist. Moorish or
I was the last dragon, knew I was a master. Started from a servant. Chapter 28.
All we got.
We all we got. We all we got. Oh, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Sue upon the law, put my fears in the
We all we
dungeon.
got.
We all we
And they
got.
gon' never argue with you that I'm
We all we got.
And once we find our nationality and serve that nationality, we'll do for ourselves what needs to be done.
Keep thinking it's games, you already know these beasts kill you on camera, leave you niggas dead in the streets. You're still handcuffed and bloody, but no 911 calls. Bystander effect in full effect, so watching with y'all. Mind blowing, watching my people holding up traffic of innocent people. My people need to get their ass kicked. Marching and picketing is most cowardice and punkified, while dead bodies just multiply. Sisters killed in their cell, you claim it's hell. You raised and burned down your own community, not one police station. You love pork chops, but I see no police bacon. And when it comes to revolution, most of y'all are faking.
All ethnic groups in this country understand they got a nationality. Because you answer to such stupid words like
Black lives don't matter, but you still claim black. Rather film someone get choked out but won't choke back. And the one that uploads first face charges trumped up. What do you think will happen when President Trump's up? More killing and murders of stateless herds. Hoods are concentration camps now, ghettos are burbs. Gun stores short on ammo, they're melting down church bells. Black seek shelter in temples where God doesn't dwell. That's why a foreigner can walk in and shoot up your service. Praying to invisible gods, give you the curses. You pray to relinquish, that's none of my business. I suggest you nationalize with the quickness. I suggest you study law, stop with the big shit. In your face, I see them spray the pepperish liquid, then pouring white milk on your face. I thought that milk was the devil. Sound weapons drown the noise level. Boys, you rebel.
No, you answer to such stupid words like Negro and color and black. You have
The point that I'm making, blacks are mistaken. Call them highwaymen, not cracker pigs or bacon. Taking your tax dollars and riot gear, they relaxing. Cause in a black status, don't even think about a class action. Don't even think about rights being respected without getting injected. I see you infected. Then the same ones that violate the laws you re-elected. Your vote matters more than black lives, feel disrespected. Control the Negroes, looks tested and perfected. That's why about being black, I'm skeptic and left it. My people are tripping, walking with arms like panthers who got nowhere in the 60s, so that's not the answer. And black leader, race war instigator puppets teach kill those who killed us as justice. But have they ever killed? I think not. If they did, it's hearsay, nobody to show. Yellow envelope, money in escrow, accounts overseas, not in democracies, live in hypocrisies. It's all de jure mockeries, bureaucracies, vampiric, but most can't hear it. It's only the attitude, the regalia is not clan spirit. Until my people wake up, your struggle for rights continue, and your children organs end up on the elite menu. You love text but delete the messages, more send you with no status. You're in the jurisdiction and venue of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of their feet. Of the same beast system you attempt to defeat. Only as Moors will you get them on the heels of your feet.
the name of a people must relate them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. And anytime you call a people by their right name, anytime you call a people, name a people, and fail to relate them back to land, history, and culture, you have called them out of their name. There's no black land or black hole. Ain't nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong with it at all. Only relate to a country. The name of every people in the world relate to country. And once you think instantaneously of land, you think of nationality.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask. Tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water. Watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in the wallet, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
He tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask. Tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water. Watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with most they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in the wallet, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the profit. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send writs again. Remain calm, shake us off, then they sin again. That's in the police out, just the silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge, you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
So I passed by this battle rap video, and apparently the guy B-Dot, which is the guy in the Army fatigue, is a friend of Polite.
Brother Polite, that's your bro, yo? Yes or no? Because you do know that nigga's a bozo. Now look at his face. He like, yo, Brother Polite, that got nothing to do with me. When it does, then you get judged by the company you keep. And he's a fraud. A black activist posing, a black con artist posing as a black activist.
King Farouk. And it's interesting because you see like they have the headdresses look like the Moors. Right? Check right here, the guy see King Farouk. And it's interesting because you see like they have the headdresses look like the Moors. Right? Check right here, the guy see King Farouk. And it's interesting because you see like they have the headdresses look like the Moors. Right?
Americans, we are the Moors, historically. 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 Americans,
We are the Moors, historically Americans. 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 Who raped the black community out of thousands and turned and gave him his ass to kiss. His position in the black power movement is misleading. He charging money for this knowledge that ain't nobody receiving. And the nigga got caught riding with trannies. Hold on, the scandal with him never ends. Alright, so let me get this straight. Not only was the nigga robbing hoods, he also want to marry men? Yeah. You one of his bestest friends, my nigga. Yo, but fuck all that kid shit. See, I'm gonna tell you where you went wrong at. Rest in peace, Mike Brown. And his battle with Verb, he wore a hat with his image on it. Try to paint the picture how Verb ignores the kid's importance. You made the connection, because Verb from the place where it happened at. And I guess you figured they would figure that's the reason you even had the hat. Right. But you had another agenda you neglected to tell us. See, you wore the hat to advertise it. You intended to sell it. Stop lying. You making money off that black boy death. That's foul, ain't it? And what's fucked up is not a dime, and that $23.99 went back to the Mike Brown Foundation. See, you the worst of the lanes. See, because you playing off all that hurt and that pain for your own personal gain. And that's why the brother Polite angle still stands to me. Because he robbed from the black community, but you robbed in Mike Brown family. That's a good angle. My nigga, so before I get out of here, make this move quick, let's review this. Because with him, there's a whole lot of fables that need chopping. He never put no action behind any words that he jotting. Him and brother Polite, they sitting back and they plotting, and you ain't even all the way blood pussy you spotting. Fuck out of here. Same time.
Well, he normally garners attention for his online posts, but now the social media influencer and motivational speaker is making headlines for the wrong reason. NBC6 reporter Kim Nguyen is live in Miami Beach tonight with more on the arrest of the man known as Brother Polite. Kim.
Yeah, well, Jawan, the suspect surrendered here at the Miami Beach Police Department earlier this week. Police charged him with sexual battery of a 14-year-old girl. We did speak with his lawyer earlier tonight, who says that these charges are false. Mugshot of 37-year-old Michael Nowak Jr., also known as Brother Polite, to his more than 300,000 Instagram followers. Miami Beach police arrested Nowak this week for alleged sexual battery of a 14-year-old girl in a hotel room in February. Police say the alleged victim was the daughter of a woman he was romantically linked to. Defense attorney David Terrace says his client is innocent.
Once the evidence is produced, that he is going to be exonerated. So yeah, not guilty, nothing else.
According to the police report, Nowak, a motivational speaker and author who lives in L.A., asked the woman if he could take her daughter to an after party at a club in Miami. The report states Nowak took the teen to his hotel after seeing that the club was closed. Police say the suspect gave the teen alcohol and started dancing and touching the teen inappropriately, groping her breast, inner thighs, and buttocks. It goes on to say Nowak tried to force the teen to perform oral sex on him. The teen allegedly passed out and woke up to Nowak trying to make her throw up.
These are serious allegations, but in any situation, there is always motive. There is always a lot behind the scenes that the public is not going to be able to see.
The report states that the girl's mother found her intoxicated and possibly on drugs, with severe swelling on her mouth and lips. It later states Nowak told the mother not to call police because it would ruin his career. Nowak was served with a DNA warrant in June and surrendered to police on Monday. Terrace says the police report is only an allegation. And Nowak claims to have written more than 90 books. In an interview, he also claims to have several wives. For now, we're reporting live in Miami Beach. Kim Wynn, NBC 6 News.
Child abuse and 1 count of deliberate contributing to the delinquency of a minor. You will be adjudicated guilty, which is a criminal conviction on your record. Do you also understand, sir, that by entering into this plea that it may subject you to involuntary civil commitment proceedings set forth in Florida statutes 394.910 through 394.931? Do you understand everything that I've said thus far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to also advise you, sir, that you are going to be sentenced to 7 years in state prison, to be followed by 10 years of reporting probation. In addition to any of these special conditions of probation, you will also participate in and successfully complete a mentally disordered sex offender treatment program, that you are also not eligible. Okay, you may, according to the state, you may be eligible for early termination if all of the conditions of your probation have been completed, that you have had no violations of your probation, and that you have not been arrested for any other criminal offense. Is that correct, State?
And to clarify, the terms stated in 5 is there is no prohibition on early termination. However, there is a requirement that any modification to this agreement be agreed by the state and the court.
Okay. All right, sir. Now, with respect to this plea agreement, I have on each page next to defendant's initials MN. Did you, in fact, affix those initials to each page?
I did.
And have you reviewed each and every component of this plea agreement going through page 1 and through page 4?
I have.
Now, it says on page 4, having read the above-mentioned terms of this plea agreement and having been advised by my counsel, David Terrace, I, Michael Noak, freely and voluntarily enter into this plea agreement and agree to abide by all terms and conditions of this plea agreement, and agree that failure to comply with any terms or conditions within this agreement constitutes a violation of probation and subjects me to be sentenced to the statutory maximum penalties provided by law for the crimes for which I am now pleading guilty. And then it has a signature over the name Michael Noah. Is that in fact your signature, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I am now going to place my signature on this plea agreement, in that I am now going to be ratifying this plea agreement as negotiated between the state of Florida and your attorney. Has anybody, including your lawyer, told you anything differently than what I've just told you?
No.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication affecting your ability to understand me?
No.
Is anybody forcing, threatening, or coercing you to enter into this plea?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, the entry of this plea will have negative immigration consequences, including deportation and removal?
I understand.
You had the right, sir, to have gone to a jury trial where your lawyer had the ability to compel the attendance of witnesses on your behalf, the ability to confront and cross-examine the witnesses and evidence against you. You had the right to testify just like any other witness, or remain silent, and your silence could not have been used against you if you went to a jury trial. You also had the right to appeal any mistakes that I would have made during the course of the trial, and the right to hold the state of Florida to the burden of proving these charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand, sir, that by entering into this plea, that you are giving up all of these rights and we will not have a jury trial?
I do.
Have you discussed this plea with your lawyer?
Yes.
Has he answered all of your questions?
Absolutely.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer's services and advice?
Definitely.
Did the state provide all the discovery in your possession to the defense?
Yes.
Did the defense review all of the discovery in your possession with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do both sides know of any physical evidence containing DNA that would exonerate the defendant?
No.
Your Honor.
And do both sides stipulate to a factual basis for this plea?
Yes.
And the court has reviewed the arrest affidavit, makes a finding that there is a factual basis for the plea. Mr. Noack, are there any witnesses or is there any evidence that you wanted your lawyer to investigate or me to receive before entering into this plea?
No.
All right. The court finds that the defendant understands the nature of the charges against him and the consequences of this plea, that he has been represented by competent and effective assistance of counsel with whom he says he is satisfied. I find the defendant has knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waived his rights. All statutory fines, court costs, and surcharges will be assessed. Counsel, do you waive PSI?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, Mr. Noack, you do understand, as I mentioned to you before, that the state, as they had articulated earlier, you may be eligible for early termination as long as certain conditions are met. That means no violations. You've done everything that you were supposed to do. You've not been arrested for any criminal offense, and the state is in agreement with it as well as the court's ratification. On the other hand, sir, if you violate any terms and conditions of this probation, and that includes getting arrested for any other criminal offense, that you could be subject to the maximum period of time in prison, which by my calculations is 61 years state prison. You do understand that?
Mm-hmm.
And knowing all of this, do you still wish to enter into this plea?
Yes.
All right. The court finds the defendant, as I mentioned before, understands the nature of the charges against him and the consequences of this plea, that he's been represented by competent and effective assistance of counsel with whom he says he is satisfied. I find the defendant has knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waived his rights. All statutory fines, court costs, and surcharges will be assessed. Is there anything further as it relates to Mr. Noack? I do have on the Zoom that the victim's mother wanted to address the court.
Correct. And, Your Honor, nothing more from the state except to let Your Honor know if you can unmute the victim's mother. And she will be listed as victim Noack in the Zoom. And she's requesting, pursuant to Marcy's law, that her identity remain anonymous. So for that reason, she will not be stating her name, but she will be making a statement regarding this case.
Where would it be?
It should say victim and then in parentheses Noack. Nope, sorry. You see it when it says victim nope?
Okay, yes, 1 second. All right, you may unmute, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, so what I'd like you to do is, well, you don't want to give your name, so at this point, just go ahead and you can give us an impact statement. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Michael Noack. This is the first time I have spoken publicly about what you've done to my daughter and I. I have gracefully remained silent the last 2.5 years. 2.5 years of pain, shock, disbelief, PTSD, constant nightmares, and daily triggers. Trying to help my daughter heal when I'm not even healed myself. What you have done to my daughter, myself, and my entire family is inexcusable. You hurt us all. You made me believe that you were such a great man and you could do no wrong. You made me fully trust you, and for that, my daughter trusted you too. But the truth is, you're a monster. A demon. The very first time that I allowed you to be alone with my daughter, the very first time, and you couldn't even help yourself. You told me you was going to be right back. You were going downstairs. You were going to grab food and take vacation pictures. You told me that you wanted to have a one-on-one talk with her about loving and respecting me as a great mother that I was and am. And I actually believed you. I believed that you were going to bring her right back. I thought you were going to have this trusting conversation with her that you promised me. Her and I both trusted you. For a grown man to violate a child who trusted him, you should be ashamed of yourself. You plotted on me and my little girl. The entire time you knew what you planned to do. Isolate, intoxicate, then violate my baby. Shame on you. I trusted you to bring her right back. You were supposed to bring her back the same way that you took her. Instead, you drugged her and took advantage of her. And you sexually abused her. You forced alcohol down her throat. You then forced her to see things that no child should ever have to see. You forced her to feel things that no child should have to feel. You forced her to accept violence that no child should ever have to endure. You forced drugs in her that no human should ever even ingest. She's my child. My baby. How could you? You could have killed her with all the drugs that were found in her system.
Oh my God.
And you thought your master plan was mapped out perfectly, huh? You thought I'd be dumb enough to believe you over my child. And you thought that money would blind me. You thought I was going to be so blinded that I wouldn't notice when you returned her with bruises all over her body and her mouth busted, uncontrollably shaking. Absolutely not. And although you executed your plan and you got what you wanted those couple of hours, you actually failed. Because look where you're at right now. You have created a lifetime of trauma for my daughter and I. Before you, we never knew evil existed. You brought so much evil into our lives that early morning, and I'll never forget. I called you like 50 times and you wouldn't answer me. And I called her too, but you took her phone. You drugged my baby and you gave her no way to seek help. You left me no way to contact her or even know where she was. I get physically sick now whenever I'm away from my daughter because of you. Something as simple as her going to school, I'm in panic mode. Because I'm scared when she comes back, she's going to be hurt all over again. I constantly have flashbacks of that night. And what she lives with is not okay. She feels uncomfortable around people and will live with this forever, and this is not fair to her. She never deserved this. Shame on you for forcing evil on our youth. And you know, for a year, I questioned, how could you even do this to us? Her and I did nothing wrong to you. We trusted you. I moved across the country because I believed everything that you told me. But it was pure manipulation I see now. All you do is specialize in selling false dreams. How can you do this to an innocent child and mother who simply trusted you? We did nothing wrong. But you know what? I'm done breaking my head trying to question or figure out how you could do such a thing. It's so simple to me now. You're just a sick man. A man you can have a plethora of women, but you secretly prefer to have a child. And it's so clear now. I will never be able to fully trust another person due to the betrayal that you've shown me. And for that, I was not willing to trust 6 strangers and go to trial. Nor was I going to put my daughter through an additional trauma. This plea was in our best interest. You and I both know the evidence is extremely substantial. But even with that, I refuse to have my child be tormented when she's done nothing wrong. All she holds is the truth. And I will say this. Although you were so worried about being labeled a sex offender, you did us a huge favor by admitting to guilt, period. So for that, I thank you. I truly thank you. Yes, mitigation took place and I allowed it as long as it meant you going to prison and you getting true help. Because true help means no more victims. The fact that your only non-negotiable was to accept a sex crime shows exactly the type of man that you are. You know what you did in that hotel room. I know what you did, and my daughter knows what you did. DNA doesn't lie. There's no reason why your DNA should have been found on my baby. And yes, I satisfied your bogus request to not be labeled a sex offender, but it doesn't take away from who you truly are. I wasn't going to waste any time going back and forth with you over a label. God will judge you for exactly the person he knows you to be. A sexual predator. So rest assured, jail time equals jail time. And I pray that during your 10 years of sex offender probation, you actually receive the treatment that you need and it helps heal your sick mind. and get the thoughts of being with children out of it. All you care about is your pretend image. But I know exactly who you are now. You want to be this public figure, but you want to do all your evil acts in secret. You're so self-centered. That's why the last time I saw you on February 27, 2021, you fought me. You tried to hold me hostage from taking my daughter to the hospital. I'll never forget that cowardly look in your eyes. I'll never forget it. You were so scared. You were so scared because you realized you messed with the wrong one. Your last words to me, you held me and said, please don't go. You're going to ruin my career. Well, today, September 6th, 2023, my last words to you are, I hope the next 17 years of your life, you're reminded of the disgusting, terrifying, unforgettable act that you've done to my innocent daughter. Shame on you. And although you've caused a tremendous amount of trauma for myself and my daughter, we will and will always be superior of you, because a successful, honest career is something that you could never, ever have. We will both continue to stand against violence. My daughter will continue to persevere and be bright and intelligent and courageous young woman that she is. So, Michael Nowak, I hope you enjoy prison, and God bless you.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your courage.
And we've been told you. Been told you. These people are a fraud. When these people were doing their debates BS. When these people were doing their debates BS. And the brother sent me the behind the scenes conversation with Polite and a European. And that he's going to make the European kiss his feet and all that stuff. And then it's going to be a big thing because the European kissed his feet. And we put it out there and they striked our channel. And tried to get our channel shut down. Frank Gary and them. All them people who were on that HOK platform. All of them. Now they splintered off and then they tried to do their own thing. This is what this one was up to. We don't even know about the other ones. Their dirt just never came out yet. But all the people who were in the debate and BS, and then people rushing out to go, all those people too, all of them are pedo supporters too. Because a pedo is not a pedo, he just turned a pedo yesterday. Pedo's been a pedo. Pedo's been a pedo. These are your conscious community people. These are them, the pedos going after your children. You're thinking they're going there to go learn something. You're not gonna go learn jack. They're gonna go and get taken advantage of. This is what they're about with your children. Begging the mom not to go to the hospital and all this. These are the ones. When he came out here and we were one of the vendors at the lecture, and about while he was on the stage still, right, in front of the stage talking to people or whatever like that, his wife who was wearing like a mini skirt, right? Remember, this is conscious whoever's, right? The wife was wearing a mini skirt so that when she sits down, people could see. That's how short the thing was, right? And then she did this lap, like she was checking all the vendors, right? Like he's at the stage, he's just talking or whatever like that. And then she's doing this lap, going to all the tables, checking all the vendors, right? And then she passed him and started setting up the books on the table. Right? Just, moving stuff around. They were already on the table, whatever, moving stuff around. And pretty much everybody who was there except the vendors was at his table. Buying, like just buying. Buying like you wouldn't believe. And me and other vendors looking at each other, and we're just like, what is going on right now? Like, is this really what's going on right now? Like, so she put the harlot hex on him. She put the harlot hex on him, and they came here and they ate food, and I think they paid him. I think they paid him $5,000. I think they paid him $5,000 to lecture, and then he got to sell books, and then he sold out all of his stuff. Sold out all of their stuff. And then all the other vendors are sitting there and their table's full of stuff still. Right. That's when I saw real time that these people are vampires, because that was around the whole time of him going around the platforms, different platforms, and making a quote unquote name for himself. All the people who bought all that stuff from him, all of them are pedo supporters. Look at him now. Look at him now. Look at you now. Look at you. We're not even concerned about him right now. We're concerned about the victim. We're looking at all you people who've been supporting this pedo all these years. All you people who bought stuff off his website. All you people who got red bottoms because he got them. All you pedo supporters. It's y'all we're looking at right now. Y'all the ones that we're looking at. We're not concerned about him. We've been known he was a traitor and a sellout. We've been known that. Been told you too. You don't want to hear what Moors are saying though. You don't want to hear what we're saying. We're going to listen to these pedophiles. Talking about conscious community. Conscious nothing. Conscious nothing. These people are the worst. And you did it to yourself. Right? The conscious community stuff. These are people who are debating Moors. Well, what's our nationality and all that? Look at them now. They're a pedo. Now what? All you people who have supported this pedophile. All you people who supported this pedophile all these years. Did you know that he was a pedo? Did you see some stuff and didn't say anything? That's what we want to know too. Because ain't no way there's only one victim. There's not one victim. And if there is one victim, then definitely he's a plant or something like that. And he's been a plant just here to cause confusion. As usual. As usual. And for all that package selling stuff and all that stuff that they talk about, right? Just to show you what the supreme law of the land is. They gave him the 7 They gave him the 7 articles and the 10 Bill of Rights. And they gave him the 710. Gave it to him. You were going to be on the list as a pedo. He knew about the Moors and all that stuff. He didn't proclaim that. He said he's going to be a pedo. They forget Moorish. I'm a pedo. That's what I'm about. I don't care about none of that contra stuff. He told you himself. You're not hearing what he's saying. As big as he is, registry don't even matter. As big as he is, it's all about the people who were following him, the pedo supporters. It's about them. Those are the ones now that you gotta watch funny. Those are the ones you gotta watch funny. The ones who were supporting them. Okay. Like when we had on our channel the lecture from when he was out here. Because he's talking about Bill of Black Nation and all that stuff. Bill of Black Nation. And in 2023, where's this Black Nation that he was building for the people out here in Toronto? Where's it at? I thought you guys gave him finance to set up some meetings and all this stuff in order for the Black Nation, whatever, to happen. Do you think these people out here carried it on or cared if he stole their finance or anything like that? No, they just took it They just took that he played them. And we put it up there for a reminder, so you can see how long ago. Because everything's time-stamped on YouTube. See how long ago I've been telling you. These people are a fraud. These people are a fraud. And because you, the incompetent whoever's, let the fraud go through, then all fraud happens. Just because you agree to be black. All right, now your social influencer guy is a pedo. How you feel? Stupid. You stupid. You should feel stupid right now. All the finance that you gave to Polight, that you could have gave to some anything better than a pedo, funded a pedo's whole career. These people funded pedophilia. Talking about, well, I don't follow him anymore. But you bought a book, didn't you? Didn't you buy a book? All right, pedo supporter. All right, pedo supporter. All right, pedo supporter. No problem. And just go. It's on Tony the Closer. Tony the Closer on Instagram. If you want to hear that BS again. But these people are a fraud. And anybody riding with them, anybody who's been supporting them, big fraud. And like I said, once fraud happens, then fraud is continuing to happen. It's not advanced at all.
to help finalize the destroying of the black woman image. They was already had us under attack, and she was here to just finalize the process. The way they trying to force her on us is just crazy. Like, I wanted to go see Drake, but once I found out Drake had her opening for him, absolutely not.
Shut the hell up. So you're mad about Sexy Red, but you're gonna ride with Drake? Shut the hell up. What Sexy Red is whatever. The whole industry is the problem. Forget one dumbass. Forget one dumbass. That one dumbass you think is the problem? Shut the hell up. Two people wake the hell up and realize what the hell this is really about. What this life is about. Until you get to the side of nationality, everything you're saying is mute. Ears are closed. The only way out is knowing about your nationality. Anybody who's looking like, oh wow, they have the and all that stuff, they sold out already. They sold out. Because we know people with millions. And they're taking their millions and building a farm. They don't have 50 cars. They'll buy a tractor. They'll buy a tractor. They're not going to buy a pool. Pool the size of a football field just for them to swim in. They already gave it up. The fact remains, no nationality, then you're already in trouble. Because you can't get anything done without a nationality. You just can't. Still to this day, nationality is the order of the day. And remember, again, just for the two in the back who are seeing something's wrong. Spidey senses going off. It's just for the two in the back, the handful that wants to be saved, the few faithful. It's only for those. But yeah, your boy's guilty. Pedo supporters, all these people, all these pedo supporters here, all these pedo supporters.
Mentoring. I swear, if it wasn't for my mentors, I wouldn't be here. Shout out to Minister Inky, the bro. He done helped me get to a lot. Little did he know. Just me conversing with that brother. We even went to go shopping, go get groceries together. Me seeing how he ate helped me get to another level. It was like peace to the nutter. I love that man. Who else? My mentor, Roy L. He helped me get where I'm at. And all he did was just send me information. He ain't telling me everything. I read it. And then my TV mentor, my internet mentor, Brother Polite. It was like the brother, he made consciousness cool. Brother Polite. It was like the brother, he made consciousness cool. Internet mentor, Brother Polite. It was like the brother, he made consciousness cool. mentor, Brother Polite. It was like the brother, he made consciousness cool.
Yeah, the people right now playing games. Right now have a platform talking BS playing games. All these pedo supporters that you people be riding with, be careful. These people are pedo supporters. He just got found guilty, right? 7 years, 10 years probation. For doing sex stuff with a minor. And then now they're going to come out recanting. Oh, no, that doesn't mean. That was then. Now it's the. No, none of that. None of that. None of that. None of that. That was then and all that stuff. Good try, pedo supporter. All you pedo supporters. All you pedo supporters. Oh yeah, you know what? We might as well do this one too.
Now, our first stop is the Hanging Church. It is also referred to as the Suspended Church, or El Morlaca. It's called the Hanging Church because it was built on the southern gate of the Roman fortress, or as some say, cliff. There's a great deal of history here. Let's go inside and find out. Patriarch, or they say Patriarch, instead of P, they say B. Wow, as in the first. They would call him Marcus. Right? El Rasul. So the messenger. You pronounce the P as a B when you see it. Check right here, the guy said, you see, it's King Farouk. And it's interesting because you see like they have the headdresses look like the Moors.
Thou not silent when evil is spoken. For truth, like the sunlight, shines above all. He who oversteppeth the law shall be punished. For only through law comes the freedom of men. Peace. I'm Rami Salam El, and I thank you for joining us. That small selection came from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean. He's also referred to as Tahuti, Egyptian god. He's also connected to Hermes or Hermes Trismegistus. That's in quote-unquote Greek culture. Be important to do some research on this figure. And the Emerald Tablets, once again, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Do some research, check that out. But let's get to the main issue for today. The point, the focus of today's video. And it is shining the light on Brother Polight and his evil falsehoods and lies that he has been consciously and intentionally spreading, specifically about Moors, though he does it in various different ways on various different topics. What I'm going to be addressing and presenting to you is evidence of himself doing it. And then you can see, and I'll break down and analyze it, and you can see for yourself how he's attempting to mislead the people. We can no longer be silent. It is time for truth. Without further ado, let's get to work.
Because the Moors say that they are Muslims, and they historically admit that they were around while niggas was enslaved. They were the free blacks. So I ask, how come you feel good?
Whoa, let me stop it right there. Before we even get to the question, he's already begun the deception and the manipulation. So I need, throughout this video, pay very close attention to what Brother Polight says. Pay very close attention to the words that he uses, because he's intelligent and he's very conniving in how he slips in the lies. You know, as they say, the devil's in the details. Yeah, very interesting. Let's analyze what he said in that brief clip. 1, Moors are the free blacks. That is a lie. And we know this is a lie because Noble Drew Ali, the first person that came to North America to teach the so-called black people that they're actually Moors, said specifically, you are not Negroes, blacks, or coloreds. You are Moors. Moorish Americans, to be exact. And Brother Polight knows this, and we'll prove it later. But he's very aware of Noble Drew Ali's teachings. And if you know anything about Noble Drew Ali's teachings, that's one of the first principles or the first things he teaches, is that we are not black people. We are not coloreds. We are not Negroes. So you see, Moors can't be free blacks. Moors are not blacks. In fact, so-called black people are actually Moors. And that's the deception with Polight. He wants to keep our people enslaved. And another thing, you hear how he said, the Moors say that they're Muslims. Never mind, let's analyze the Moors. What Moors are the Moors? Every single Moor around the whole world? Or is he talking about just Moors in New York? Or is it Moors in California? Or maybe the Moors down in Brazil? Or how about the Moors in Egypt or Kemet? How about the Moors in Palestine? Syria? Iran? Maybe the Moors in Russia. Let's see, we're going to get to that later. Don't you worry. But you see, that's what I'm pointing out to you, how slick he is with the words. The Moors. It's very ambiguous. Let alone the fact that Moors don't say that they're Muslims. Historically, and before I get back to the Moors saying that they're Muslims, historically, Moors were referred to as Muslims and Muslims, to be specific. Moors were also referred to as Berbers and Saracens, B-E-R-B-E-R-S, Berbers. Saracens is S-A-R-A-C-E-N. We were also referred to as Egyptians and Phoenicians, and Arabs is another one. So Moors were referred to as several different names and identities. Sort of like how Moors are now referred to as blacks or Negroes or coloreds or African Americans or black Americans or niggers. You see? Afro-Americans. But Moors have always been Moors. And Moors that like myself, I'm a Moor. I don't say that I'm a Muslim, I say I'm a Moor. So, you see the deception again? Trying to make it seem as, what fact? Did he have a source on where the, quote-unquote, the Moors say that they're Muslims? Did he provide a source? Can he provide a source? No. But I don't even want to just go off of what I'm saying. Let's introduce a European brother. Let's see what he has to say about Moors, and pay very close attention, listen, and see how he refers to Moors. See if you notice him say Muslims or Muslims.
I remember when I spent time in Spain, going to Granada and spending time around the Alhambra Palace. And one thing that I noticed around that area were the churches, synagogues, and the mosques right next to each other. And I remember asking the tour guide, how is this possible? We don't see this in modern day world. And she said, well, at one point in time when the Moors were here, people live in harmony. You always think that when the Moors took over, all hell broke loose. When they the Spaniards retook that area of the world, that's when they started kicking people out. What's your opinion on that?
Well, you make a great point. And, I referred to the 11 libraries that complete the libraries from Toledo, Spain, that the Muslims or the Moors, were in charge of and operating. And when they were forced to abandon Europe, what was left behind was essentially one of the beginning and most important features of the returning of light to Europe after the Dark Ages. And these libraries really demonstrated that the Arab peoples at that time were the leaders in literature and science and astronomy and art. And it was these Arab libraries and Arab cultures and foreign cultures, including Jewish culture, that seeded the Renaissance in Europe and really helped bring the Dark Ages to an end.
Caught that, right? Moors or Muslims, which is different from Muslims. Look it up. M-O-S-L-E-M versus M-U-S-L-I-M. Now there's a connection there, but just understand that he was specific in making the distinction between Muslim and Muslim. But he didn't stop there. He went on to refer to Moors as Arabs, and that those Arabs or Muslims or Moors brought all sorts of science and art and literature, tons of libraries, and brought the Europeans out of the Dark Ages. Now, Moore didn't say that they were a Muslim or Muslim. The European brother said Moors or Muslims. Why? Historically, this is a fact. We are referred to as Muslims and as Arabs and as Saracens, as Berbers, etc. But we are Moors. Now let's get back to Polight's question.
How come you feel good being a free black when your people are enslaved? So I showed you.
Are you starting to catch on to his tricky ways? Very deceptive, conniving? How come you feel good as a free black when your people are enslaved? Again, Polite. Moors are not blacks. Moors are not free blacks. Moors are Moors. So-called blacks are Moors who are enslaved, using the term black or African American or Negro or person of color, people of color, etc. Let's get that clear. Again, then he went on to, and you'll see this again as we go through the clips. He put up this fake argument. How come you feel good as a free black? Tell me which Moor feels good about our people being enslaved. Whoever said that they feel good? Would these be the Moors that you're speaking about? Because I'm a Moor, Moorish American, and I don't feel good about our people being enslaved. I don't feel good about any person being enslaved from whatever nation that they come from. You see the difference between Moorish Americans, true righteous Moors, and people like Brother Polite that are pushing the black agenda is that they don't want you to be free. They actually do enjoy and feel good about our people being enslaved. Because if they didn't, they would tell you the truth, that we are not blacks, and that term, these labels, are keeping us enslaved mentally as well as politically and legally, and which is resulting in our physical enslavement. That's what's really going on. Nobody said we feel good about people being enslaved. It's one of those fake arguments. Very conniving ways. And people who do that, they're doing it consciously. They're doing it with an intent, with purpose. Unless he's saying that Moors are claiming they're happy that our people are enslaved, and then I would just ask for you to show and prove where this is, where Moors feel happy about it. Don't worry. I'll wait. But in the meantime, let's roll to the next clip.
You see, this is what I'm talking about. And listen, this is what I'm talking about. If you care about black people as much as you say you do, real quick, you can't tell us about how you and black people work for the white man together. Because at the end of the day, it's the white man's operation. What we asking is if you embrace black people shoulder to shoulder, like you said at Jamaican.
You know that white man as a lawyer? Defense attorney guy? You know what? Oh, that thought just hit me just now. Hey, you hired the white man? Oh.
Will you bang on this goddamn cracker that's out here in America pushing us over? That's what we asking. Will you fight with us? Will you sign up today? Will you sign up today and go to war with the white man since you know he's full of shit?
Let me finish this speech. First of all, we don't work for a white guy. We work for our families. Second thing, everybody has friends who married the white woman, who married the black man. What they united? What them united? The law. So
I just want to point out a few things. One, that this European man, who will come to find out is Ukrainian, when he's talking, when Polite asks, will you bang with us against the quote-unquote white man, blah, 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 what was his response? He's talking about uniting and unity. And what was it that would cause, or what is the source of that unity? Love. And guess who teaches that? Guess who teaches that we need to love instead of hate? Noble Ali, via the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, or the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's one of the key components to our lessons, to the teachings that were brought specifically to the so-called black people in North America. And we got to be clear about that as well, because Polite said America as if America is the country. And America is a continental landmass, North, South, and Central America to be exact. The United States of America is on the American land, North America. That's once again the games with the lingo, trying to get you to associate America with the United States as if the United States is America, and that is incorrect, completely false, a lie. But let's continue with the clip, because it gets very interesting as we go forward.
That's bullshit. If you are really down for the liberation of black people because you working with Jamaicans side by side, then we need to see you go just as hard as we do against this goddamn cracker. And if you're not doing that, you're not invited to a black conversation.
Interesting response, right? This brother is talking about love. We need to love each other. But what does Polite say? Bullshit.
Hell no. You're a Jew? You're Jewish?
No, I'm Ukrainian.
Exactly. You're Ukrainian.
No.
What if we stole your people, took them from their land? What if I took you and I forced you into slavery over here? I take your money, I rape your daughter, and now my children have everything that was yours. Force you into slavery over here. I take your money, I rape your daughter, we stole your people, took them from their land. What if I took you and I force you into slavery over here? I take your money, I rape your daughter, I rape your daughter, and now I rape your daughter, and now I rape your daughter, and now my children, I rape your daughter, and now my children have everything that was yours. Would you then tell your children, it's okay, just leave it alone, let's marry each other so we can stop fighting? I rape your daughter, and now my children have...
Oh my gosh, what the hell? You can't make this stuff up. Oh my gosh, what the hell? One of the boys said it in the chat. Allah is the greatest of planners, for real. Oh my gosh.
I raped your daughter, and now my children have everything that was yours. Force you into slavery over here. I take your money, I rape your daughter, and now my children have everything that was yours, would you then tell your children, it's okay, just leave it alone, let's marry each other so we can stop fighting? Would you tell us the same advice you giving us now? Would you follow the same advice? If I took you from your country, Ukraine, and I force you to work for me, and I take your money, and I fuck your wife, I rape her right in front of your face, I rape that woman, are you going to then turn around 200 years later and tell your children, just stop the fighting and marry those people to show peace? Are you going to follow that?
The 1 year ago, our system, no. You guys, like, you tried to push me in the corner.
Hell yeah!
No.
We've been pushing a 400-year corner.
Well, listen, the answer which you like it to hear, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The year ago, our people went on the street with the protests. They didn't like it, like it's happened in Baltimore. For 3 days, the snipers shoot 103 persons. 103 persons.
Again, you see how he puts up that false argument. Would you follow the same advice we gave you now and then proceeds to put up, what if I fucked your wife and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? That's not what he said. What he was speaking about was unity. How do we come together? Furthermore, he said he was from Ukraine. He said he was Ukrainian. Do the research. Were Ukrainians involved in the quote-unquote slave trade? Were they the Europeans that were enslaving us here in America? In the United States, in North America to be more specific? Oh, and also, did you notice how he was speaking about something that happened in the Ukraine and where snipers killed over 100 people? I was ignorant of that, so I went and did some searching and found out that the Ukrainians and brothers and sisters in Ukraine were protesting, and there's a whole thing with Ukraine and Russia right now that's going on, which is a whole nother situation. And I advise you to do research into that from multiple perspectives to get a better understanding. The thing with Ukraine and Russia right now that's going on, which is a whole nother situation. And I found out that the Ukrainians and brothers and sisters in Ukraine were protesting, and there's a whole thing with Ukraine and Russia right now that's going on, which is a whole nother situation. And I advise you to do research into that from multiple perspectives to get a better understanding. But the point I'm making here is that in 2014, there was people that were protesting, just like there was people in Baltimore and in Ferguson and in Oakland and all over in New York. They were protesting being oppressed and being mistreated. And what happened in the Ukraine? Over 100 people, innocent people, were murdered by a sniper. The question I would like to pose to Polite and to even you watching, did you even know that that happened? Are you ready to go to Ukraine and quote unquote bang on the oppressor that's oppressing them? What about here? Are you even willing to do it here and show your solidarity from here? No. But we just expect everyone else to do that for us. As if everyone else, different nations all over the world, aren't dealing with similar issues. Like in Yemen, like in Syria, like in Palestine, like in Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Somalia, all over the world. But see, that ignorant black-white thing will have you just thinking it's all about us and we're just the victims and everybody needs to bang, quote-unquote, bang on the white man. When it's foolishness. It's oppression and it's enslavement happening all over the world. But let's see what Polite has to say.
Look, will you marry your children to the rapist? If someone rapes your children and steals your mother's belongings, will you have sex with them and make babies? You marry your children to the rapist. If someone rapes your children and steals your mother's belongings, will you have sex with them and make... Someone rapes your children and steals your mother's belongings, will you have sex with them and make babies?
This is provocation. This is provocation.
It's provocation?
It's
reality with us. Will you marry your children? Because you coming over here telling us we got to stop this violent talk. We asking you, would you marry would you marry your children to the rapist?
Still trying to stir up that violent, provoke negative energy, an evil energy out of the brother. That's what he's doing. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Ukrainian brother.
Everything has to come with the love. Love, only love. That's each religion saying the love.
Again, even when the Ukrainian brother is getting provoked, he's trying to be provoked into going into the negative, to the lower self. What does he talk about? Love. Is Polite listening? Do they listen? Let's find out.
How you say no more than Ukrainian? We don't know love.
It's a rap.
You telling us a love? How you teach a people that been stripped of their name, land, and resources? How do you teach them to love? You
don't say. How do you teach them how to love? Great question. Holy Quran, of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, who came and taught us and continues to teach. If you listen and study and study and study some more. But is Polite doing that?
You gotta show love. If you really love black people, give us your bread. Give us a fucking house. Give us a school. Put some money together with some white folks and build a fucking community center for black people if you care about us. But you telling us to just love? We don't know how to fucking love. We've been out of love for 400 fucking years. For 400 years we've been out of love. And now you gonna come here and tell us I vote for Obama. You ain't got no heart. He can't do nothing. He can't do something. We should demand every damn cracker on planet Earth to fucking respond. Cause they gonna tell us they got four. They gonna tell us, hold on. They gonna tell us they got 3 or 4 fucking friends that are black. They gonna tell us that they vote for Obama. So nah, you ain't gonna do what you wanna do to redeem yourself. We gonna tell you what you need to do to redeem yourself, or we gonna run you the fuck out of the community. Cause you can't come in a black conversation. You can't come in a black conversation and tell black people how you expect us to love. No, we gonna tell you how to fuck to love us. If you wanna show love, work your ass off with some white people and create some community centers. Work your ass off, open up one of these stores and just give it to a black person. Restore what y'all have stolen from black people. That's all you gotta do. That's love. That's love. And if you
see, it's clear he's not studying Noble Drew Ali. Because Noble Drew Ali wasn't saying that we need to go to quote-unquote white people, Europeans, and ask them to just give us stuff, that they need to do the work and just give us things. No. We can do for ourselves. Just like Marcus Garvey was teaching and showing and proving, which is why Marcus Garvey is in the Holy Quran. In the last chapter, by the way. Very interesting. I think you should read it, Brother Polite.
just marry each other, stop fighting? What love?
You need to be bowing down right
What
now.
love? You should say sorry, man.
Yo, you should bow down.
Come on, say sorry.
Everybody say it. Come on.
Bow down.
Bow down. Bow down. Bow down. Bow. No, get on your knees. Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Show love. Get on your knees. Show love.
You just bow down.
Right. Come on, say it again, y'all. Bow down. Bow down. Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Show love. Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Show love. Get on your knees. Show love. Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Show love. Get on your knees. Show love.
You just bow down.
Right. Come on, say it again, y'all. Bow down. Bow down. Bow down.
Now this got real interesting. It's very clear that they haven't studied Noble Drew Ali. Because that's not about get on your knees. Well, let's hold in that guy that's yelling, get on your knees. That would be Sonetta. I did a video on him. It's called, Is Sonetta a COINTELPRO agent? You should look it up. Check it out. Let's get back to the footage you saw. What's love about that? Demand that a man get on his knees and bow down? That's love? Kind of weird to me. We'll keep going. It gets a little weird. Let's watch.
And again, y'all, bow down, bow down, bow down, bow down, bow down. Get on your knees, man. Get on your knees, man. Yeah, I see you praying. You don't love black people. What you said?
I don't like that shit. Demanding a man get on his knees. And then even though that Ukrainian brother had nothing to do with the people getting lynched, despite all of that, he still was humble and respectful enough to politely bow. And what do? Get on your knees. Oh, you don't love black people. So what? All Europeans need to get on their knees and bow to quote unquote black people? Really? It's kind of odd that man is just, I don't know, something about this guy demanding another man to get on his knees and show love.
Yeah, I see you praying. You don't love black people. What you said? What you said?
You listen all to yourself.
To show, but he's feeling like you're trying to exploit his kindness.
Exactly.
See that? See that? See that? See that? It's always our women. It's always the black women.
Let us wrong. You got.
See that? What? It's always the quote unquote black woman. What? Displaying logic and reason, and saying that, pointing out that you were trying to exploit his kindness and force this man that you don't even know, that you're trying to attach the years of enslavement to him, and saying that in order for him to show love, he needs to get on his knees and bow down to you? Who are you? Sonetta? Brother Polite? All your hyenas around you yelling bow down? Who are you people? Weird. Then blame a woman. I knew there was something weird about that. Let's continue because it still gets deeper.
Those guys are more closer to us than the white guys and American guys. All right? Because they are immigrants.
She must be a Hebrew. Hold on.
They did not. His people. Hold on.
So there's no racism in Russia?
I'm not saying that. His people did not put these people to death. He just.
So why was he bowing down? Why was he bowing his head down?
There goes that slickster Polite again. Back at it, putting up false arguments, misleading statements, falsehoods. Are you saying that there's no racism in Russia? Did she say that at all? Did she? Go back and rewind it. See if she said that at all. No. But it is very important that Polite brought up Russia. And let me show you why. I'm going to be reading from Moorish Jewels, Emerald Edition. This would be Noble Drew Ali on the front, if you weren't aware.
Nation is a people. Economic economy. Language. Now, language, very important. Language. Land, need language. Let's try one more thing.
Military. Culture.
Oh, no, hold on. It gets deep. You need a credit line. How about that one? A nation has a credit line. So now I'm going to ask you as a Moorish American, do you have a credit line? Because nations are able to borrow against something. So are you coming empty-handed? Keep it real. Because now we're going to get to the realistic point of the conversation. We're not going to allow you to act like, oh, your shit is straight. So now what we're going to do, you heard me? Because you intimated that something's not going right with us. So now what we're going to ask is, does the Moorish Americans, do they have a credit line? Since you are a nation.
That Brother Polite's a slick one. We're going to sort this all out. Let me put on the record that I attended one of Polite's lectures a few years ago out in Hayward, California territory. And at that lecture, I noticed something. It's very interesting. He came with an entourage, about 10, 12 people. And when it was time for the discussion to begin, some of the people that he was with sat amongst the audience. No biggie, right? Yeah. Until it came for question and answers. And then one of the people that he was with raised his hand and asked a question as if he was just a random audience member. And then Polite answered, if it was just this organic exchange, as if it wasn't orchestrated, perhaps planned, a plot, all part of the performance, if you will. Just want to put that on the record as you are watching the clip of him yell out to the crowd, what does it take to be a nation? And then random people will throw out certain things. Was that by chance? By random? You can't really know that because you are not there watching and seeing who's speaking and what's going on. You just see the perspective that the camera shows you. And this is something to pay attention to, not just with Brother Polite and Sonnet and their actions, but in terms of media in general. You have to be very careful because the media is good at manipulating things and showing you what they want you to see. So be careful. But let's get back to the discussion. Nation. Throws out some things, language, customs. True indeed. Then he throws you that little bit of falsehood in there. Oh, credit line. Yeah, nations have a credit line. And then he proceeds to ask the Moor and identifies him as a Moorish American and says, well, do Moorish Americans have a credit line? What is the point of that question? See, if you respond no, then it is implied or inferred, oh, well, then you not a nation because nations have credit lines. If you don't have a credit line, you can't be a nation. That's a slick one. But it's not true. No. How do I know this? Just my opinion? No, not at all. I study. And I hope you will too. Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. What do you know? It has nation in here. Let me read it for you. A people or aggregation of men existing in the form of an organized jural society, usually inhabiting a distinct portion of the earth, speaking the same language, using the same customs, possessing historic continuity, and distinguished from other like groups by their quote-unquote racial origin and characteristics, and generally, but not necessarily, living under the same government and sovereignty. Guess what's not in here on the definition of nation? Anything about a credit line. Brother Polite.
If we were to go to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15, we see that the United States has no jurisdiction exceeding 10 miles square. But we calling them a nation, and we calling them a country, and everyone's going along with it. But second I start saying we have a nation, and we have a country, we're not going to go along with it. Well, we got over 180 acres of land in Arizona. The United States doesn't have no jurisdiction exceeding 10 miles square. So how the fuck can they be a nation or have a country and we don't got a country?
Now, Polite, you're supposed to know better, especially if you're talking about law. You said we have over 180 acres of land in Arizona. Now, you may not know this if you're watching, if you haven't studied law, but if you say you are in Arizona or in New York or in California, you have now given jurisdiction and some authority to California, to subsequently the United States of America. And for the record, Moorish Americans are very clear on the distinction between the United States of America, the Republic, and the U.S. democracy that is de facto and a foreign bankrupt corporation that's posing as the government that is now occupying and oppressing and ruling us, ruling over us here in Northwest Amexem, now called North America. No, see, Moorish Americans are actually not going along with it. We're teaching people the truth about their nationality and birthrights, about law, civics. You know, the Moorish Science Temple was a civic organization. It was created by Noble Drew Ali, the universal prophet, by the way, if you wasn't sure. But Polite was sure. How do I know Polite is sure? How do I know, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, I want everyone to know, I love Noble Drew Ali.
Hold up. What did he say?
Well, I want everyone to know, I love Noble Drew Ali.
Hold on, wait a minute. Maybe I'm tripping. Let me pay attention. What did you say? You love Noble Drew Ali. Oh, ain't that something? I just got a question though. Just a few questions actually. If you really love Noble Drew Ali, why are you teaching our people that we're blacks? When Noble Drew Ali said specifically that we are not Negroes, blacks, and coloreds. Why would you do that if you love Noble Drew Ali? Why would you lie and do the exact opposite of what he was doing, which was getting our people out of enslavement? Why, Polite, are you keeping our people enslaved? Do you enjoy seeing our people enslaved, Brother Polite? That's the question you need to ask all the so-called black leaders, not just Polite. Because all of them are aware of Noble Drew Ali and are aware that he taught us that we are not blacks, we are not Negroes, we are not people of color, we're not African Americans, we're not black Americans, we're Moors. Moorish Americans, descendants of Moroccans and born in America, descendants of the ancient Moabites. That is who we are. Descendants of the ancient Canaanites. But it doesn't just stop there. You see, because what you may not know about Polite is that his quote-unquote spiritual father, one of his first teachers in the quote-unquote conscious community, was Dr. York. Who is Dr. York? It's not just that he rocking affairs. No. He took the teachings that Noble Drew Ali divinely prepared and put them inside his Dr. York's quote-unquote holy tablets. And not only that, he got a book out, he put a book out called Who is Noble Drew Ali? Where it first starts out to give credit, right? Kind of like Polite said, yeah, I love Noble Drew Ali. And then Dr. York proceeded to say, well, but Noble Drew Ali didn't have all the information. He didn't really know everything that he was supposed to know, and I'm the one that knows what to do, and you need to follow my lead. That's what Dr. York said in his book, Who is Noble Drew Ali? And if you weren't aware, Dr. York is away right now, locked up for some decades upon decades of years for some criminal situation. Interesting what happens when you play around with Noble Drew Ali. Brother Polite. Everyone else. Keep playing. Keep calling us black, Negroes, African Americans, people of color. Keep doing that when you know the truth. And you will receive your reward. Not by me. It's from Allah, from God, from Jah, from Yahweh, from the Most High, just so you, the Creator, just so you don't get a little spooked because I used the Arabic name for God. But understand, this movement is guided by the Creator. And anybody trying to stop this movement is going to get ground to powder. It's just the way it goes. I didn't say that. Those words wasn't for me. It's from Noble Drew Ali. Quran questions for Moorish Americans. While we're at it. Can a man be a Negro, black, or colored? No. Why? Because man is made in the image and after the likeness of God Allah. It's a quick lesson. And again, the Holy Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali. Chapter 48. Read one of these real quick. Come all ye Asiatic of America, Asiatics is us, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Let me update that just in case. Come all ye Asiatic of America and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not blacks. Let me update that just one more time. Come all ye Asiatic of America and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not African Americans. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, which is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That you will learn to love instead of hate. We are trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourselves with the families of nations. Link yourselves with the families of nations. We honor all. We honor all. We honor all the true and divine prophets. And I stress the word true, because if you're pushing falsehoods, Brother Polite, if you're pushing lies, Brother Polite, if you are misleading the people, Brother Polite, there's no honor in that. Nowhere close. Hope you've learned your lesson. And hopefully you watching, you do more research. You study what Noble Drew Ali was saying. And then you put that up against Brother Polite, or any of these black leaders, because it's not really about Brother Polite. I'm just using him as an example of how conniving and how manipulative and how much of a scheming hustle a lot of these people are doing with our freedom and with our lives and with this movement and with the information. Manipulating you based on your ignorance because you do not know and you believe what people tell you. Don't believe what people tell you. Don't believe me. Go look it up for yourself. See for yourself what is true and what is false. Look up the word blackamoor in the dictionary. Blackamoor. Look it up. Look up the word more. And don't just look it up in one dictionary or go on to Google. Look it up in multiple dictionaries, unabridged dictionaries, Oxford, Random House, Webster's. Look it up in all of them and see what it says. Then look up the word black and you'll see that it is an adjective and that it connects to pale. That's the etymology of the word black. It connects to pale. Clearly, I'm not pale, nor am I black, as you can see here. See? Can you see? We not black. We not African Americans either. We not Kunta Kinte. Somebody else said that. Do you know who that was that said that? I know.
Islam. I'm a Moor and got sense enough to know I'm a Moor. And ain't gonna never argue with you that I'm not a Moor. And wouldn't come in your house or come among you and say I'm a Moor if I didn't feel in my heart, in my mind, in my soul that I am. I would tell you, God damn it, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Ain't no more. So if I say it, I mean it. And if I mean it, generally, I say it. Are you a Muslim? Yes. But I know my roots. And I ain't Kunta Kinte.
Almost forgot. One last thing. We have a special presentation that's coming to us from Canaanland and the Canaanland Moors. Much love and respect to the brothers that's doing their thing and active out there. Cujo and all of the peoples. Much love to you. We have a brother that's a hip-hop legend that put on the record his dealings and interactions, business dealings, with this brother Polite individual. So without further ado, I'll let them speak on it. Much love if you watched it this far. And I hope, sincerely and humbly, that you do study and you do find out the truth. That we are not blacks, we are not Negroes, we're not coloreds, we're not Hispanics or Latinos, that we are Moors, specifically Moorish Americans. Much love.
No, 3. So, I'm going to take my chill pill for a bit and let the Moor, we're talking about hip-hop right now, huh? We'll let the Moor tell you what's up. Islam, fam.
Islam.
I'm gonna just put the mic on and you just do what it is.
Yeah. Alright. You ready?
Yeah, you're live, man.
Yeah, I just want to say, I ain't gotta make it no long announcement and all that. I just want to tell people, man, stay away from that cat, man, polite, because the cat is a fraud, you know what I'm saying? Cat had a property auction, you know what I mean? And I bought so-called piece of land from the cat, paid my $4,300, and he just get down. I've been trying to get at him. He texted me like one time, said he could meet him, and he never was there, and basically he gave me the runaround, and I know mad people do the same thing too, you know what I'm saying? The whole time I'm thinking this dude is right in that, but I should have known, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't talking about nationality, but that was my point, you know what I'm saying? That was my bad, but I just want to warn the people, man, to stay away from that bastard all the way across the board, you know what I mean? And I'm saying it's one that is good. I mean, my man, right now, Cujo, you know what I'm saying? On YouTube, when I was like, yo, I was hearing what he was saying, then I was hearing him straight, and he was saying all the Moorish, you know what I'm saying? The Moorish science, I'm like, wow, I never heard nobody put it down like that, so I had to get in touch with him, like, yo, I know your fish tradition. So I reached out to the Moor, you know what I'm saying? We've been in contact ever since, I mean, and, you know, that's one thing they want for that too, man. Basically, like I said, man, I'm not here to make the wrong speech, but stay away from that guy or any one of the conscious cats that ain't talking about nationality, because there's no such thing as declaration of rights of black people or declaration of rights of African American, you know, Negro, none of that shit. But you damn sure can go look up Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. If they ain't teach you about that, off the top, they bogus. So that's my time, man. Oh yeah, it's a granddaddy IU, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Granddaddy IU. And stay in Long Island, you know what I'm saying? Cold chilling, OX, you know what I'm saying? All that. But yeah, I've been down since like '99, and I came through the Temple 23 in Queens on Rockaway nationality, because there's no such thing as Declaration of Rights of Black People or Declaration of Rights of African American, you know, Negro, none of that shit. But you damn sure can go look up Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. If they ain't teach you about that, off the top, they bogus. So that's my none of that shit. But you damn sure can go look up Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. If they ain't teach you about that, off the top, they bogus. So that's my time, man. Oh yeah, it's a granddaddy IU, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Granddaddy IU. And stay in Long Island. You know what I'm saying? Cold chilling, OX. You know what I'm saying? All that. But yeah, I've been down since like '99, and I came through the Temple 23 in Queens on Rockaway Boulevard, and that closed down. And I got down with USAP, Rami Bay, you know what I'm saying, the Great Seal. So got my ID in 2000. I've been rocking ever since. Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, a lot of people don't, choose to say it, and I wasn't saying it, but I'm just now starting to implement that in my lyrics now. So anything you hear music coming out from there forth, you know what I'm saying, I'm always out to that. But yeah, a lot of people, man, a lot of people is up on it. A lot of people is still skeptical because they haven't seen it in action, haven't
Islam Moors, peace and love to all the Moors. Oh yeah, just a reminder if you didn't catch what was going on. Polight got found guilty of being a pedophile. 7 years, 10 years probation. Sex offender guy. So honors to Allah for dropping the Shemitah on this guy. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all the Moors worldwide who didn't fall for the BS from this pedo. Honors to all the Moors worldwide who study. Honors to the Moors in the chat. You Moors. You chat Moors? You Moors, huh? You Moors. Honors to you. Honors to all the mothers. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Islam.
Okay, so I passed by this battle rap video, and apparently the guy B-Dot, which is the guy in the Army of Two, is a friend of Polight.
Brother Polight, that's your bro, yo? Yes or no? Because you do know that nigga's a bozo. Now look at his face. He like, yo, Brother Polight, that got nothing to do with me. But it does, because you get judged by the company you keep. And he's a fraud. A black activist posing, a con artist posing as a black activist who raped the black community out of thousands and turned and gave him his ass to kiss. His position in the black power movement is misleading. He charging money for this knowledge that ain't nobody receiving. And the nigga got caught riding with trannies. Hold on, the scandal with him never ends. Alright, so let me get this straight. Not only was the nigga robbing hoods, he also want to marry men?
And he's a pedophile. And he's a pedophile.
You one of his bestest friends, my nigga.
You one of his bestest friends, my nigga.
Yo, but fuck all that kid shit. See, I'm going to tell you where you went wrong at. Rest in peace, Mike Brown. And his battle with Verb, he wore a hat with his image on it. Try to paint the picture how Verb ignores the kid's importance. You made the connection, because Verb from the place where it happened at. And I guess you figured they would figure that's the reason you even had the hat. Right. But you had another agenda you neglected to tell us. So you wore that hat to advertise it. You attempted to sell it. Stop lying. You making money off that black boy death. That's silent. And what's fucked up is not a dime, and that $23.99 went back to the Mike Brown Foundation. See, you the worst of the lanes. See, because you playing off all that hurt and that pain for your own personal gain. And that's why the Brother Polight angle still stands to me. Because he robbed from the black community, but you robbed the Mike Brown family. That's a good angle. My nigga, so before I get out of here, make this move quick, let's review this. Because with him, there's a whole lot of fables that need chopping. He never put no action behind any words that he jotting. Him and Brother Polight, they sitting back and they plotting, and you ain't even all the way blood pussy you spotting.